Hi my loves, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As you can tell by the title, today is one of my most highly requested videos ever, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, a lot of you guys have asked me to do this video for quite some time, and I'm finally doing it. I'm gonna tell you guys how I manifest everything that I want. I'm also going to share some tips and tricks, a little bit of my background story and how I started this journey, all that goodness. So I'm anticipating us being here for a minute. So we family, so get comfortable, take your shoes off and all that, get comfortable, and let's get into the video. So it is extremely hot right now. I have the door open because I had to put on the air, but let me give myself a little messy bun real quick. All right, so that's gonna be the hair for today. So I was really debating on how was I going to start this video, because there's so much to dive into, and I'm like, you know what, let me just start from where my spiritual awakening had officially heightened. And I know some of you are probably like, what is a spiritual awakening? Well, a spiritual awakening is kind of like what I describe as a point in your life where you start to see things differently. It's like above and beyond your own ego. You start to see your own patterns differently. You start to see certain situations differently. You start to see different people differently. You also start to acknowledge your flaws, things that you can change about yourself. It is like this new point of like leveling up in your life. And that is what's called a spiritual awakening. So my spiritual awakening heightened last year when I had spine surgery, and it left me at a point where I had to learn how to walk again. I was literally at the lowest point of my life ever, and I didn't know how I was gonna overcome it. So I started to notice certain things that was, I want to say questionable, because it's never happened to me to this extent. And I was like, what is this? Like, why is this happening? So I'll give you guys an example so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there was one point I was in the hospital and I started to see angel numbers. I started to see 444. I started to see 1111. I started to see 111. A lot. And I was just like, this can't be a coincidence on why I'm constantly seeing these numbers. So I just happened to research them online and to see that there's a lot of other people that go through these spiritual awakenings, and they also see what they call angel numbers. And these are numbers that is given to you by your spiritual guide to give you answers and to give you pretty much guidance. And I was getting messages through these numbers, and I was like, still skeptical. I didn't really fully believe it, honestly, until I had a moment where I literally had a breakdown in the hospital, and I was just crying. I couldn't feel anything from the waist down. So anytime my surgeon came in to follow up with me and he was feeling my toes and asking me, do I feel this, do I feel that, I would constantly say no. And he would tell me literally every single morning that he saw me for like 6 to 7 days that basically that's gonna be my life. That's gonna be my life, and I'm probably never gonna walk again. So that left a huge cloud over me. Like, I just thought that everything was over for me. Like, that was it. I'm never gonna walk again. This is just gonna be my life. I'm gonna have to suck it up. I just fell into like a deep depression. So in the hospital, I had like a really deep moment where I was just crying. And I remember me just being there in a hospital bed, looking out the window, and I was like asking the universe, like, is this going to be my life? Like, let me know so that way I can have some clarity, and maybe come to terms with possibly accepting this, or getting to the point where I can fully accept this. Because if I'm not gonna walk again, then, you know, let me know, give me a sign. And if you give me a sign, then I could fight, because right now I feel like I don't want to fight, because they're telling me that this is basically gonna be my life. I'm never gonna walk again. I want to say within no more than 10 minutes, I got a Facebook message from someone that I haven't spoken to in years. It was someone that I went to school with. They contacted me via Facebook Messenger, and I was a little hesitant on speaking to them because I'm like, listen, I'm crying. I don't want to talk to nobody. But something told me to answer this message, and I did. And the first thing that came out of their mouth when I called them was, "This is not your life." And I just immediately started bawling. And I get emotional every single time when I share that story. It's because I was like, something was listening to me. Like, what are the odds? And still very much at that moment, I was still doubting it. I was still doubting it because I'm like, okay, maybe this is just like a crazy coincidence. You know, I'm still like doubting it. So I will say that that moment gave me like the oomph that I really needed to like keep pushing. I started to write affirmations in my journal, and this is the very journal that I use. This journal is pretty much done at this point, and I was writing all of my manifestations each and every single day, and I was just writing them in a way that it was already happening. So I would write, I'm walking, I have full sensation in my body, I'm strong, I'm motivated, I can do this. And I was just constantly writing that every single day in this book until it eventually happened. So I know you guys are probably like, oh girl, you know, that's just a coincidence. So get this, there was a point where I was again still questioning it, and I was like, you know what, if this is really a spiritual awakening, give me a sign. Give me a sign and let me know that this is something that I need to embrace, so that way I can do whatever it is that the universe is trying to tell me to do. And within minutes, my husband and I were in the car. We passed by a large billboard that legit says, "This is your sign." And I just started laughing. I just started laughing because I was just like, okay, this is like more than once. Okay, this is legit my sign to, you know, just accept this spiritual awakening. And then at that point, I started to feel this kind of like energy over me that kind of made me feel calm, but also made me feel really motivated, and also gave me some more strength to continue on fighting and to help myself to get better and everything. So that made me want to do a little bit more research into how to manifest, if there's like a certain way to manifest and all that. This is my first time doing any of this stuff. So I'm like, how do I do it the best way possible so that way it is working for me and I can actually have some kind of progress? So like I said, I started with the writing my affirmations out and writing it in ways where it is already happening. And not only was I writing it in my book, I was also thinking it. So for example, I legit put our address here in this home. You know, I put our address, this is our new home. Within days, we got a phone call saying that they approved our offer. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like all of this stuff is working. I wrote in here that I have full sensation of my feet. Now I don't have full sensation, but I have a lot more sensation in my feet. So I'm getting there. I'm using the bathroom on my own and all that stuff. And literally piece by piece, I started to see a lot of the things start to work for me. And I also incorporated sound therapy. So sound therapy is these frequencies that kind of like give you these tingles throughout your body. It's probably not the best way of explaining it, but if you go on YouTube and you type in, you know, manifesting sound frequency or something like that, you will find a whole list of videos of sound frequencies that is good for headaches, for menstrual pain, for back aches, like you name it, there's like a sound frequency for it. And I wanted to listen to these frequencies while I was sleeping in the hospital because one, it was loud in there, and also I wanted to heighten my level of spiritual awakening. And little did I know that these little sound frequencies was helping bring sensation into my body, helping me with my anxiety, helping me with panic attacks, and also helping me to like stay mellow because I suffer from some really bad panic attacks. And it was helping me. It was helping me sleep. It was helping me manage my pain. And I'm not a medical professional or anything like that. I just want to say that I'm, you know, just talking about things that worked for me. But there was some magic going on with these frequencies because it was literally alleviating a lot of the pain and making me feel a lot better as time progressed. Journaling and the sound therapy. So I have a singing bowl which generates some frequencies to help you get calm. So whenever I'm feeling anxious, I would just use my singing bowl. I would use this to say my affirmations. I would use this also to set my intentions. If I felt like I was about to catch a panic attack, I would use this to kind of like calm my energy and to really get me feeling really good. And it works, it works. My husband got this for me, by the way. So another thing that has really worked for me, I started incorporating healing crystals, and a lot of people don't believe this. They feel like it is just rocks. And honestly, I thought the same thing. I was like, these things are not gonna help me at all. But I put a little pouch of crystals on my legs, and I started to feel like this huge vibration, like kind of like a shock in my leg as soon as I put it on. So these things carry a lot of energy. It's unbelievable. I didn't believe it at first, honestly, until I tried it, and these crystals are everything. If you want me to do a dedicated video on how I incorporate crystals into my manifestations, into my everyday routine, let me know down below. I will be more than happy to share. I'm still learning about it, but I can definitely tell you guys like what I've been doing. So another thing that has been helping me a great deal with manifesting all of the things that I want is meditation. So if you are just starting off with manifesting, you should start off with guided meditation, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, what do I say? What do I put out there? So guided meditation is literally doing all of the steps for you. It's telling you how to lay down, how to get comfortable, how to put your palms up to the universe so you can receive the energy, what to think, how to have this, how to have that. Like, it's literally guiding you step by step and letting you know how you can start your meditation journey, so that way you can be able to manifest all of the things that you want. So when you listen to these guided meditations, it kind of gives you like this stepping stone for you to start doing it on your own. So once you get familiarized with everything, you're like, oh, I got this. Like, I can do this on my own. You don't even have to do the exact same things that you were just listening to with the guided meditation. You can do whatever it is that you want to get yourself in that mindset where you're literally sitting there and you're meditating. You're in a nice, calm and quiet spot, and you're sitting there and you're thinking about all of the things that you want to manifest. You want to manifest a good home or a big house. What does it look like? Where is it? How many rooms is in there? Like, literally to the point where you can see literally every single detail. You need to start thinking it every single chance you get. That is the mind work. That is going to be the positive energy that you are putting into your brain, so that way you can, you know, radiate that when it comes to the goals that you want to accomplish. So I remember a few years back on my vision board, I put that I wanted to collaborate with e.l.f. Cosmetics. So it may not be in the exact formation of the exact way that you want it, but it's going to come to you in a different kind of form. And the reason why I say that is because I'm gonna talk about a particular situation where it happens, but to me, like, this is my first time. I'm over here expecting the world, and you're not gonna get the world right away. You're gonna get it in pieces. You're gonna get it in doses until it gets to that point where it is like your full manifestation. So the reason why I say that is because there was a point where I was incorporating healing crystals for money, and I'm over here thinking that it was gonna come to me in cash form, but me incorporating certain crystals to help get money or to receive money came to me in ways of discounts, or it came to me in ways of sponsored content. You know, I'm over here thinking like legit, like cash in hand, but it came to me in like opportunities for me to make money. And that literally happened in like days. I'm telling you, if you want me to do this video, I didn't believe it until it started happening to me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be incorporating this. Like right now I have crystals like laid out. I am not playing. It works. It literally works. So like even down to my drinking water, I have my healing crystals right here. This is rose quartz. This helps with love. This helps with self-love, happiness, and joy, and all that stuff. So I put that right here so that way I can have all of that energy in my water. My water, when I drink it, is going to flow through me. And honey, I am just in a great, great mental space. Now, don't get me wrong. There's periods in my life where I do feel down. I'm not saying that I'm happy-go-lucky every single day. That's unrealistic. I'm human. And I have my moments where I have self-doubt, but I also try to pick myself back up, because when you stay in a funk, when you stay in a level of like depression and you stay, you know, consistently doubting yourself, you're putting that negative energy into everything that you've been working so hard for. And if you're negative about things, it's not gonna work. So I like to say this too, because there's people who think that just because they're saying, oh, I'm manifesting, oh, I'm gonna manifest this, and they just think that right then and there it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work in a snap like that. I wish it did, because if that were the case, everybody would sit here and manifest all of the things that they want. But it doesn't work like that. So if you are not genuinely a good person, if you're still hating on other people, if you're still jealous about things, if you're still unable to acknowledge flaws that you have within yourself, how you treat other people, these things are not going to work for you at all. You have to genuinely be a good person, and also making sure that you remove any of the negativity that's going on in your life. It could be habits, bad habits, it could be people, it could be family members. Like, you have to let them go. You have to let it out, remove it entirely from your life. These people and these certain situations are going to be the things that is going to block all of your blessings. It's going to block all of the things that you want to manifest, because you still have like that burden, you have that heaviness that's on there, and that energy is so strong, it is going to attack all of your manifestations, and you're not going to be able to do anything, and that's not what we want. So there are certain situations where, you know, people that I was conversing with, I had to just stop communicating with them, and it may seem bad, but if I feel like your energy is off, I don't want to communicate with you. If I feel like you're being, very competitive, or you're showing like signs of jealousy and envy and all that stuff like that, I don't want that. So I am going to remove myself from you. I probably won't even give you an explanation, and I'll just remove it, because if I sit there and explain myself of why I'm not talking to you, or why I'm not doing XYZ, or whatever the case may be, I'm giving you energy, and I don't want to give you that energy, because I'm trying to save it for all the good stuff that I'm trying to do with myself. So I don't do it. So if you happen to be one of the people that get cut off in my life, that was the reason why. You was draining me, and I am very much an empath. When you are going through a spiritual awakening, you legit feel everything. You feel when people are lying to you. You feel people's energy. You feel when people are sad. You feel when people are happy. You feel everything. And I didn't know that it was possible for me to even know, like, oh, I know you're lying. I can literally feel it. I feel when something's wrong. I feel like when something is about to happen. Like, I can feel everything. I feel the energy, and it's been like that for so many years, and I didn't know that it was pretty much guiding me to a point where I was meant to be here in this very, very moment. So all the things that I got to accomplish is because of that very moment that happened to me last year. I was really looking at it more so like, oh my God, my life is never gonna be the same. And that accident actually helped me to get to this point right now, where I feel like I am making my life so much better, because I feel like now my relationship with myself is so much better. My relationship with other people is so much better. I feel like I am more honest. I'm more vulnerable. I am more caring. I'm more empathetic and compassionate. And I'm just so much more blunt and more honest. Like, not in a way where it's like arrogant or anything like that. Like, I don't think I've ever been arrogant, but I'm just really honest with my feelings and very upfront. Like, you know, if you hurt me, I'm going to say you hurt me. Or if I feel a certain kind of way, I'm going to vocalize that. I'm going to say that. And it's just so much of me has changed. And I noticed that a lot of people was asking me about how to manifest, you know, things in their life. They started to see the shift. They started to see the change. And certain people that wasn't good for me would just stop talking to me. And it was because they weren't meant to be on this part of my journey. They weren't meant to be here. So they just drifted away. You know, maybe it was a situation where, you know, they stopped talking to me, you know, and it's because a lot of people was telling me, you changed. And I'm like, we're supposed to change. If you're just still the same person from when you were like a kid and there's no growth, well, you're not living. You're not living. You need to grow. You need to evolve in some way, somehow. And that is the way for you to just flourish and for you to accomplish all of your goals. You have to have some kind of change, a positive change, for you to like just live. But I'm getting a little off course. So positive affirmations, the singing bowl, and also the mind work. The mind work is pretty much like how I said with how you write your affirmations and stuff. The mind work is going to help you achieve all of the things that you want, because you kind of have to be, in a way, kind of delusional in a sense. Like, not to the point where you're like fabricating and telling people lies like, oh, I live in this huge fancy house, and you don't. But you just gotta kind of like think it and just say, like, you know, this is what I have. You know, if you want to reach a certain point in your life, if you want a specific job, if you want to be making this type of money by a certain point or whatever. And I don't like to put like actual limitations on when I want to achieve something. So I noticed that, you know, I put out there that I wanted to collaborate with Elf Cosmetics. I put that out into the universe, and I kept that into my head for 2 years. And I actually collaborated with them, and it was just a very small collaboration, but I wasn't specific on that manifestation. I just said that I wanted to collaborate with them. I didn't say how I wanted to collaborate with them. So I got a collaboration with them where I was able to name a matte no budge shadow stick, and it was a small collaboration, but it was a collaboration. So I took that for what it was, and now I'm like, I need to be specific with all of the things that I want, with all of the intentions that I want to set forth. I need to be specific. So if I want a collaboration with a specific brand, I can say I want a collaboration with this water bottle, and I want this water bottle to help me generate $20,000. And, you know, being specific. You know, I'm being extra with the water bottle, but I hope you get the gist of it, because you kind of have to be delusional. You have to get to that point where you're setting the goals that is like so crazy to other people, and you'll start to see it working when you start to hear other people saying, you're crazy. You're never gonna get to that point. When you start to hear that doubt, that is the universe testing you to see if you're gonna get to that point of, you know, self-doubt, if you're going to stop believing in yourself. Those are like not there for no reason. Those are challenges that are put out there to test you, to see how far you're willing to go for your own goals. So if you allow naysayers to dictate your life, you're not gonna get a positive outcome. So again, back to the people who just think that you could just manifest things like that in a snap. Honey, I've had so many people who just thought that just because they were mocking my life, they thought that just because they were mocking the way I speak, the way I live, the food I eat, which was quite interesting. You know, if you're trying to mimic someone else's life, the manifestations and stuff is not going to be authentic to you. It's not going to happen for you, because you mimicking someone else's life is not ideal for you. It is not your blessing. It is not geared towards you. It is unique for that specific person. And if you go with that mindset thinking like, oh, well, I'm just gonna sit there and follow everything that Jazz is doing. No, you have to find your own way. You have to find a point in your life where it feels comfortable, it feels natural, and you won't even have to second guess it. You won't even realize that you're manifesting because you're doing the work so often that it just becomes second nature. And you will start to see that you'll start to get all of the blessings and all of the things that you set forth, and you start to see it flourish. You start to see it literally in physical form, like down to the PR, down to the house that we're living, down to me walking again. Hello, okay? I manifested all of that, and I am so proud of myself. And I'm just really excited to see what else I can manifest, because it doesn't end for me. Like, now my possibilities are endless, and I am just so proud of the work that I have done, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds for me. I mean, I kind of can see it because I can feel it, but I just can't wait for it to come, like in real life. So that's pretty much what I have so far as like how I manifest. I really hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section below, and if you want to see me do a more detailed video of how I incorporate my crystals into my everyday routine, also let me know as well. I will see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys can manifest all of your dreams. I'll see you in my next video. See you.